Well, even though I was at work, pretty much news had broken um, over this past weekend that someone had arrived in St. Louis. Now, of course, a lot of people would speculate it was Randy Orton because, of course, he also arrived in St. Louis. But surprisingly, Randy did not make a surprise appearance at Survivor Series. No. Instead, another name was mentioned, and that name was the name of somebody that we, as fans, doesn't matter if you're WWE, sports entertainment, wrestling fans, doesn't matter. Well, yeah, it does matter in a sense, but basically, as overall fans of the product itself, as overall wrestling fans themselves. Something happened at Survivor Series last night. And what that was the debut, the long awaited debut of somebody that we never thought would actually do it. Someone we never thought, after years and years and years of avoiding it, of years and years of re-signing with Impact Wrestling, TNA, for another year and another year and another year. For all those times, we finally got the one thing we have been waiting for years. For years. Something we've been waiting for, honestly, for 13 and a half years. Ever since WCW closed, we've been waiting for this moment. And at Survivor Series 2014, it happened. It finally happened. And I know when Vince McMahon is determined to do something to get people's attention, to say, hey, you get this for free this month, but if you pay a monthly price, you can get to see moments like this for that $9.99. You'll get to see moments like this every day, every month. You get to relive this moment every day. And boy, did he pull out the stops. Did he do just that tonight? Because tonight, we saw the long-awaited, never thought it would happen, hoped it would, prayed it would, and it finally did. We saw the long-awaited debut of Sting. That's right, a guy that last year was wrestling at Bound for Glory in TNA. A guy that last year was competing with the likes of Magnus, Bobby Roode, AJ Styles. A guy that even at the beginning of this year faced off against Magnus in what would be his last TNA match. I'm talking about Sting. A guy that when he left TNA, Impact Wrestling, was a part of their version of the Authority storyline. Their version of a corrupt faction, corporate faction, taking control, abusing their power. Here's a guy that last year was part of something that I have on DVD somewhere. Was part of AJ's return to being the phenomenal one. And now, 1 year later, here he is in a WWE ring. Here he is, literally 10 months, 9 months later, in a WWE ring. And what's he doing? Scorpion Death dropping Triple H. Gives us sort of an indication of who his only opponent may be in this company. What his only match might be at WrestleMania. I'll tell you something. Even though I had to watch the on-demand replay, even I marked it. Excuse me. Even I marked out. Even I got excited. I mean, look at me. I'm sweating just for the fact, not that we have the heater on, but just for the fact that that moment is just unbelievable. I mean, again, here's somebody we never thought would be in the WWE. And that even if he was, he would only be part of a Legends contract. He'd be able to go and do other things. But yet here he is, in the WWE, stepping inside a WWE ring for the very first time, and helping the Authority come to an end. You know, some people wonder where they're going to go with this. Some people are thinking, you've given John Cena the power to bring back the Authority. Is this leading to a heel turn? Who knows? But I don't think so. I mean, you have Cena himself saying that's never going to happen. And that might be true. But what we do see is possibly the Authority doing whatever they can to get back into power. And you know what? I'm looking forward to how this all comes down. I'm looking forward to Sting's explanation tomorrow night, if not in an interview down the line. I look forward to it. I have the distinct feeling that the reason for this from a storyline perspective is he's sick and tired of factions like the Authority abusing their power and not doing what's really right for business. We'll have to wait and see. But to me, folks, overall, this is a moment. This is a moment we've been waiting for. It's a moment. I mean, topped with the fact that a lot of us, whether some of you want to sit there and admit it, or I should say, want to sit there and won't admit it. For some of you that won't admit it, this is a moment that we have been waiting for since SummerSlam 2013. That's right, SummerSlam 2013. A lot went down between the two. A lot went down. I mean, that was the beginning of the Authority, and now a year and a half later, it's the end at Survivor Series. And why? Because basically it's played itself out. Yeah, a lot of people like Jeff Schiegel, I know Jeff's going to review the Survivor Series this year, and he's going to say it's the invasion all over again. And you know, Jeff, that might be true, but you know what? What's more bigger now that you look at it? What's more of a draw? I mean, when you think about it, you will still have sort of the Authority being put out of commission at WrestleMania. Because if you have Stephanie McMahon coming out and yelling, it's not over, we're not going to accept this, and pretty much you're going to lead to maybe a boycott of this decision, this final ruling, then of course you're going to finally get a nail in the coffin match, if you will, with the Authority's overall, power on the line. Of course you're going to get that. Of course you're going to get that, and there's no doubt about it. Of course you're going to get it. Of course you're going to get it. But the thing is, this is just the first step. It's just the first step. this is just the first step, folks. You're still going to, I mean, guys like Jeff, you're still going to get that moment. I mean, you think, honestly, the Authority is going to completely go away? No. They're not going to completely go away. Like I said, the way it looks like, from a storyline perspective, you got Stephanie McMahon pretty much going to boycott this decision and say, no, it's not right. We didn't lose fair and square. So, we just have to wait till tomorrow night. We might still have the Authority around, but not as powerful and not as influential as they used to be. But we'll just have to wait and see. But excuse me. But this overall was a moment. A moment that's going to build towards a WrestleMania match. It's going to be bigger than just the Authority ending at Mania. It's a bigger draw because if you can't get Undertaker Sting, second best choice is Sting Triple H. Now you might say, well, Sting faced Triple H in the past. Let me remind you of something with Sting facing Triple H in the past. That wasn't Sting facing the Cerebral Assassin, the Game, the King of Kings. No, that was Sting facing Terror Ryzing. Well, that was Sting facing a young Jean-Paul Levesque. This is Triple H. This is an entirely new person he's facing. And this is the match that will draw. Because if you got Rock not being able to appear, and possibly Taker not appearing, what better alternative do you have? Huh? And who knows, we might get a match. We might get a tag team match with Ziggler and Cena against Rollins and Big Show because of what happened tonight. We might get a tag match, a tag table match, or a tag chairs match, or whatever, at TLC. We might get that. We might get a six-man, for you know, TLC match with Rollins and Big Show and maybe Mark Henry on one side and Ziggler and Cena and Orton on the other. Or Cena, we'll probably get some kind of a match where Cena will agree that if he loses, he will bring back the Authority, whether he wants to or not. That if he loses a match, so let's say the Big Show at TLC, that he will agree as a man of his word to bring back the Authority to power. So you see, the Authority's not completely gone. We may still see them. They may still get their power back. But then again, maybe not. You see, it's all up to what happens between now and WrestleMania 31. And I can tell you this, if I can get the money to buy tickets to WrestleMania 31, you're damn sure I will go. I will ask for that, ask months and weeks in advance for that day off, or that weekend off, and I will be there in Santa Clara. You're damn right I'll be doing that. You're damn right that I'll be doing that. But the thing is, folks, overall, what I'm trying to say is this. When you look at it from a whole, this is a moment that's going to go down in the annals of wrestling history. Not just WWE history, but overall wrestling history. Because of all the WCW originals that jumped ship to WWE at one time, from the Arn Andersons, the Tully Blanchards, the Tony Schiavones, yes, I even put him in that category, the Steiner brothers, the Ric Flairs, the Scott Steiners, the Goldbergs, the Buff Bagwells, the Booker T's, all these mainstays of WCW, these originals, jumping ship over to WWE, now, in a sense, has been completed. That circle is complete, because now Sting is in WWE. And that, my friends, is something to be excited about.